Right. So I'm Tyler Hadrick, and this is Mr. Chris Garcia. He's going to be my mentor for the clinical practice. We're going to go over just the parts of the clinical. So we're going to start with the Teach Now clinical rubric. So this, Chris, is just going over the 10 teaching standards and kind of the ways it's scored: insufficient, basic, proficient, and outstanding.
Okay.
We can go over the standards later, but for example, first one is learner development. Second one is learning differences.
Okay.
And I have to do a presentation on the fifth one.
So learning differences, is that, are we talking like differentiated instruction? That's the term we use.
Yeah, so I think it's more about individual differences, different cultures, different communities.
That's exactly the term we use is differentiated instruction. So you might have two kids that are on the same level.
Yeah.
But you still need to teach differently to those two kids.
Right.
One's going to respond better with verbal. One needs to have manipulatives. Yeah.
Right.
So, okay, cool.
So yeah.
And that's the same rubric we use for grading kids. 1, 2,
really?
3, 4.
Perfect. But this is going to be helpful for me because it gives me some guiding questions for each standard.
Okay.
I think this is more for me because you aren't going to be grading me on all these standards.
Too bad.
All right, the second one is ways of thinking about the rubric. So this is nice too. So this is standard 1, and it's just getting me to think about, am I meeting students' needs? Is this developmentally appropriate in the instruction? So this gives us just a little bit more information for each standard.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. All right, this third one is for you. It's the mentor handbook. There's a lot of just introductory information. The mentor program, what the mission is, what the goal is. It talks about more of what Teach Now philosophy is and what they're really trying to focus on. Goes over the standards once again. Talks about my responsibilities, mentor qualifications. We've already kind of made sure that's all good. This is your roles and responsibilities.
Okay.
So that's going to be something to check into.
Okay. I'll read this over.
Okay. Our relationship.
Will I have any kind of a like an evaluation form that I can use when you're doing a lesson? If I'm like just watching you teach?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't have one of those.
Okay.
But I will definitely look into that.
See if they have one. If they don't, I mean, I can do a simple one where I just take notes and do positives, negatives, things you need to work on, things that you're doing great at.
Okay. Let's see. Next one is the sequencing of the practice. So I'm at we just started this week. So we have 2 weeks just to kind of prepare for all of this.
Okay.
In this first week, I'm supposed to meet with you, is what we're doing right now. Week 1, I need to develop a lesson plan and video and submit a baseline video.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use that baseline and we're going to compare. We're going to watch me kind of get better and develop, hopefully. Week 2, so each week there's one of those standards. We're focused on one of those standards, and I think I'm going to have to submit a video of me teaching a lesson each week. So
okay, so next week would be week 1 then?
I think next week is still part of this 2 weeks.
Okay, so the week after that would be week 1. Okay.
Yep. and I think it says that I need to kind of ramp up the lessons that I'm teaching throughout the week. So
Okay.
I should be doing more and more as the weeks go on. So it's a 12-week
Perfect.
clinical practice. So this it's starting in like September and should be ending in like the end of November.
That's perfect, because
Yeah.
you're going to get us almost to the halfway point of math for me, because I try to finish the math curriculum. I try to get it done around April, May. So that's kind of like December's kind of the halfway point. So
Got it. And the last piece is this compass concept.
okay.
Wait, shoot. Yeah, actually, there's one before that. The curriculum topics, which I think is that's what the lesson or what the standards are.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go into that in a little more detail at a later time. So I'll show you that later. The compass points is a concept. Where's my sheet?
Compass was the like kind of like expectations.
Yeah, no, it's the so it's
Oh, here it is. Compass
there it
points.
is. Yeah. So I guess it's a routine for examining propositions. I guess it's a Harvard Graduate School of Education idea. It's just kind of a way for me to think about, how to move forward in this whole thing.
So this is like you're reflecting
Yeah,
on
it's
yourself
like a reflection at this point in time. So first one, so it's EWNS, like east, west, north, south. First thing, it's asking me to think about what I'm excited about.
So what are you excited
yeah,
about?
I'm just excited to be in the classroom. Like this whole part before has been all theory, which I struggle with at times. So it's nice to just be in here
Yes.
with people, with students, and moving that way. The worrisome part, the part that gives me worried is just like all the little details that there's just those gaps in the knowledge for me right now,
Mhm.
which I know that I will figure out. You will help me figure out, but those are the little things that kind of creep in.
I still have those worries.
Yeah, I can see
So,
that.
that happens.
The need to know, I think it'll be helpful for me to find out just like the routine that we can set in places to make this most efficient and most productive.
Yep.
So that's what I'm thinking there. And then the stance.
What's that?
It's what is your current stance or opinion on this whole
For moving forward. Okay.
yeah, for moving forward? I think just kind of how I'm feeling right now. Is that your interpretation of it?
I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of goes back up to 1 and 2, which is excited and worried. We're kind of
Yeah.
already talking about it, but it's like, where do we go now?
Yeah.
Like, I guess, how do we plan so that we eliminate some of the worries?
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, my opinion is I just need to get in here.
Yeah.
And just start absorbing.
I think what you'll find is once you get in and you actually start teaching, you are checking off a lot of the boxes, but then you'll miss some things that you think that you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm starting to realize. I think I'm doing things and it turns out I'm not. And then I think I'm not doing things and it turns out that I am.
Right.
Because it's all vocabulary. And teaching is notorious for coming up with new acronyms and new theory definitions of words and a lot of those, like differentiated instruction. Yours was learning differences. It's like, how do you teach to two kids that one is from a rich, educated household, and one is from a household that never went to college?
Right.
So it's like learning all those terminology words is going to be, I think, a huge part. And I'm not the best at that. I'm always learning new things about, oh, I am doing that,
Right.
That's what that's called.
Right.
I do that naturally,
Yeah.
But then there's little things that I miss all the time. Like I need to be better in this classroom with manipulatives, the kids putting their hands on things in math.
Right.
I do a whiteboard, I do we get up and we move around, we collaborate with each other, try to come up with the problems on our own.
Yeah.
Which is all good, but some kids need to actually touch things and put them together and take them apart.
Right.
So I got to get better with that.
Yeah.
So.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Garcia, thank you for your time.
Yep.
And we'll see you soon.
Oh, and should I tell the camera?
What's that?
4th grade,
Oh, yeah.
Jackson Elementary.
Sounds good.
All right.
Right.